All right, welcome back to the Onebar and Lupagus show. I'm Onebar with Lupagus. Draft is in the books. Vikings roster, fairly set, but we're going to talk about some free agents that could still look to sign.
Absolutely. I believe Kwesi has done it each of his 2 years in charge. He's brought in guys throughout the process during the preseason, so definitely could do it again, make it 3 in a row. And before we do that, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like, and comment as well. Trying to get to 12K by the end of May, and damn it, we are on a great pace to make that.
We're on a hell of a pace to do it. Also, we're going live tonight, 5:20 Central. Be sure to join us. Grab a beer. Yes. And 35 years ago today, Keith Whitley died. Sad day. Best country singer ever.
I guess you're dropping facts at the beginning of the show.
Ever. All right, let's do this. I think we got the same positions, but we don't know which players. I would be surprised if we don't have some of the same players.
Yeah, and I think we had the same positions. I don't know if we ever really set this out in stone or not, but let's start with the obvious one. I'm going to start with the obvious one. I'm going to take charge here. I'm going to assume left guard, Blake Brandel is our starting left guard. Dalton Reisner is the obvious one to mention here. We have to mention him. Former Viking. We signed him last August. Still floating out there. For whatever the reason, Dalton Reisner is still out there. I think that's one guy the Vikings could call if Brandel really looks like ass.
I think that's the only guy they would call. I mean, when you look at the list of available free agents, not great. I mean, as far as left guards, and they already know what they got in Dalton Reisner. And Reisner, I would say everybody would agree is a good, not great, not horrible guard. And he's probably going to come in at a decent price because it appears nobody wants to sign him. So he's still 28 years old. I think we said it on yesterday's show. I think he's their backup plan. I don't think he's going to get signed anywhere, and they probably know that. And if they got to bring him in, they'll bring him in.
The whole situation with him is weird. I want to know what the hell's going on there. There's something going on.
I don't know.
No team has signed him. I mean, come on.
Well, no team signed him before
last year. I know. I think there was an injury last year, or there was something he was coming back from, but it's weird. It's weird. He seems like a great dude, a great teammate, but maybe he's not. I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure he is. Yeah. Dalton Reisner, that's the easy one at guard. Let's go to defensive line. Who do you got for defensive line?
I went with the guy we've talked about, I believe, back in March, maybe February, Rasheem Green, D lineman. He's with the Bears. He's been with the Seahawks. He's out there floating around. And again, a guy who's got 19 career sacks, 151 tackles in his career. I think you can play him inside. You can play him outside. Gives you some versatility. And the D line, to me, is a position, a lot of question marks. I don't know who the final 5 are going to be. I think we kept 5 last year. We got some young players. We got some crusty veterans who maybe have not quite hit their potential. So I think Green's a guy they could bring in.
Yeah, Green. That's who I got. Again, you said it. He can play anywhere. He's 6'4", 280. You can even put that big boy out on edge. You can really do anything with him. He was with the Bears last year. Didn't really do much to the point where I don't even think he was playing much at the end. I think he had 2 sacks. But he's still only 26, and he's ginormous. And he fits exactly our theme of the defensive line. These guys that have just never panned out really. And they're still young. So I would love Green. I think we even talked about him last year before he signed with the Bears. When he came out of the draft, I think he was like a 3rd rounder out of USC to the Seahawks. He had one big year with Seattle, 6 sacks, and then he just kind of fell off the map. So he would be a real nice depth piece.
A real nice piece. Let's go to position. I know we have different guys at. Let's go wide receiver. You maybe have that guy in the corner, is my guess.
Hunter Renfrow. I love this dude.
Yeah.
Always have. Again, a guy, I mean, he had over 100 catches 3-4 years ago, whatever it was with the Raiders. He was just like looking to absolutely explode onto the scene. And then injuries and the Raiders just sucking ass. He just fell off the map. And he's a dude that I'm really surprised isn't signed yet. Like, He's a ball or a chain moving monster. I mean, he catches anything around him, and he's the perfect number 3, number 4 type wide receiver. He doesn't have to be the number 2. He's not gonna be your number 1, but he's a dude that would battle Brandon Powell for that number 3 spot right out of the gates. And 28 years old, I don't get why he's not signed.
I think Sport Track had a really high projected contract for him. I thought it said like 16 million or some nutty number.
No damn way.
Yeah, maybe that's why. Maybe he wants too much money. I don't know what's going on there. I was surprised he was still available. But I went with the guy the Vikings have already kicked the tires on with Mecole Hardman, the speedster, 5'10", 187. A guy you can put in the slot. You can put him outside, just let him run down the field, chuck him the ball. Again, kind of a guy who, last couple of years, or even just last year, I mean, he had 1 catch with the Jets, 14 with the Chiefs. And he just hasn't done much.
Anybody have any catches for the Jets?
I don't know. But again, I mean, a guy who just, he's got some wheels. He's got some experience. He's Mecole freaking Hardman. The Vikings have already checked him out. So if you're looking to add a body to the receiving core, I think this is probably a fairly cheap option they could look at.
So they already checked him out and they didn't sign him.
He signed elsewhere. Maybe he thought he had a better opportunity with a different team.
Didn't. He messed up. He should have came with the purple. Let's go to running back, a position that the Vikings did not address in the draft. We thought they would. So we got Aaron Jones, definitely a little bit concerned there as far as his injury history. And then behind him, we have Ty Chandler, who, is Ty Chandler. So I think this is still somewhat of a need. Kenny, special teams guy, but Debo, nothing. So I went the familiar name, a guy that we brought in, Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt from last year we brought in, didn't end up signing. I think that came down to the dollars. But 28 years old. I mean, we know Kareem Hunt. We don't got to go through what Kareem Hunt can do. He's just a change of pace dude. I mean, he had 9 touchdowns last year. He can catch the ball, and when he gets the ball in his hands, he makes shit happen. So he would come in as like a number 2, number 3 running back, which he should be.
We don't have a number 3 running back on the team right now. We don't. Kenny's a special teamer. Debo Mack is ass, and then you got Myles Gaskin, who they are on and off the practice squad. We don't have a running back 3. This is the perfect one to get. You said it. We already brought him in. We've already looked at him. He's 28 years old, but he's never had to be the guy. So not a ton of tread on the tires. He can catch the football. Perfect situation. I think Kareem Hunt, of all these guys, is probably the most realistic guy we could actually bring in.
I think if Kareem Hunt came in, he would be our number 2. I don't think he'd want to go anywhere.
He's Ty Chandler.
I'm just saying, like he ain't gonna sign here if he's gonna be a number 3. He can still be a number 2.
You can tell him you're number 2, and then you just keep him at number 3.
Boy, he'd be a horrible GM. Nobody would ever want to sign with you ever. I just think Kareem Hunt's better than Ty Chandler. I mean, that's easy for me.
I don't know why. I like Ty Chandler. I think he did everything he needed to do last year to prove himself. Year 3, I'm excited to see what he can do. Obviously, Aaron Jones is going to be the man getting all the carries. If he gets hurt, that's where the question marks start coming in. But I would love to see the Vikings bring in Kareem Hunt.
So you think Kareem Hunt would be the 3 behind
Ty
Chandler?
I think he would. I think they would give Ty Chandler snaps. I do.
All right, let's go. We had one more. You had a cornerback, but I changed mine up. So you can give me a corner.
I did, and I don't even know if it's really a position they would address or not, but Xavier Howard's still floating out there. Him and Flo, they love each other more than anything. They would probably just shower together after practice, after games.
Don't be gross.
They're that tight. And again, I actually like the way our corner room is looking right now. I'm a little concerned when you start getting to the 4th and 5th options. That's where a guy like Xavier Howard can come and give you some veteran depth. He'd be like a coach on the field helping these young guys out. So even if you bring him in, maybe he doesn't make the final team, he could still, really help this team out just by being a coach on the field.
I don't want to. We're going to sign him and he's not going to make the team. Is that
you never know. Maybe these other guys emerge. These young guys show up. But I think just having him here would be huge for this team. Absolutely.
I love Xavier Howard.
I would love him to make the team. But
so far, Lupagus is lying to our potential running back that he's going to be our number 2. And then he's going to sign Xavier Howard just to cut him, just for the tutelage.
If he doesn't make the team, it's still a win, is what I'm saying. It's still a win.
It's a win for us because we get to see him in purple. So I'm all for it. I went. I after I looked at the cornerbacks, I kind of just I don't think we need one. But Howard, a guy like Howard, hell yeah. I went to Connor Williams, the center. Tore his ACL last year. I mean, that's the reason he's not signed. He was set to make some big old bank, and the dude tears it in December, which is just horrible. But he could be a guy that maybe like a little bit into the season, they bring him in when he's starting to get ready. They can get a look at him, and then maybe, and with Bradbury probably on his last year, maybe he could be the future. He's still only 26 years old. So bring him in on a nice cheap deal, give him some warm and fuzzies, reevaluate it after the year. But Connor Williams, man, I would love him.
He's only 26.
26 years young.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good long-term plan. Like, even if you can't play this year, get him ready for next year.
Well, what we could do is we could use your tactic and say, look, we're gonna start you immediately when we sign you, and then just put him on the IR.
And then be like, oh, you know what? You're a little more hurt than we thought. We're gonna just we're gonna put you on the bench. I think it's gonna work.
Those are some free agents dabbling around. There's some decent ones out there, and the Vikings do have some money to spend, and I fully expect them to add another body or 2.
They've done it every year, so there's no reason to think they won't do it this year. All right, guys, let us know if there's any other free agents out there that you would like. Do not forget to hop on for Horned Up tonight at 5:20. And remember this, Snickers, the famous and delicious candy bar, was named after the Mars family's horse.